Newcastle United might be the best football club to watch in the Premier League right now. Their games are end to end. There's emotion, there's challenges, there's world-class players dictating football games. Bruno Guimaraes, the last 3 or 4 games, has been exceptional. He did miss his penalty, but a goal and assist against Burnley, late winners against Leeds United. From both sides, Brandon Harrison and Calvert-Lewin in really good form, but it's not enough. And today, 3-2. You think they're going to progress into the next round. They did do on penalties, but Bournemouth, you have to give them a round of applause today because they were very good. But Newcastle has now made it 4 wins in a row. And I'm looking at their fixtures. I did a video yesterday. I think they are a dark horse for top 4 this season, or top 5 at least. 3 wins in the Premier League in a row. Beat Bournemouth on penalties. Man City on Tuesday. Although Man City looked very good. Well, they looked very good today against Exeter. But you have to, of course, look at the opposition they're playing. Sorry, not the position. And to score 10 goals is very, very good. But I fancy Newcastle in that cup. I really do. Eddie Howe's record is very, very good. Today, Harvey Barnes. Listen, he is a finisher. He really, really is. He's on very, very good form right now. Double digits now for goals this season. Gordon scores a big pressure penalty in the dying minutes of injury time, to keep Newcastle alive. They're still in the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup, and they're in the League Cup semi-final, winning 4 games in a row with a lot of winnable fixtures coming their way. I fancy Newcastle to go and do something this season. I think their team's got a lot of quality. I think Eddie Howe is managing his way through, especially through this festive period, very, very good. Bruno Guimaraes, good form. Joelinton, Tonali. Everyone knows my thoughts about that midfield. But we're going to break it down. Newcastle 3, Bournemouth 3, but 10-9 on penalties. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. And make sure you do go down, hit that subscribe button. The road to 100K is well and truly on. We're about, I want to say, 70 or 80 away from hitting 87K, which is at this point absolutely obscene. But let me know your thoughts. Make sure you drop a like, and let's jump straight into it. Let's bring up the lineup first of all. I don't know why it's trying to make me quit the browser. Don't know what's happened there. Look at their results, man. 2-0 against Palace, 4-3 against Leeds, a draw in 1 on penalties, beat Burnley, draw with Leverkusen, narrow defeat against Sunderland, beat Fulham, draw with Chelsea, lose to Man United, and then beat Burnley. If they can turn, they've only lost 2 of their last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've only lost 2 of their last 11, but I fancy them on this one. Forget Villa. That run after is, look, the next 4, I fancy them in. PSG, Villa, Liverpool, and City again. That's going to be difficult. But I fancy them to get a result against City. I don't know why. I just have a feeling they will. Wolves away, a nice Premier League game for them to come and probably make it 4 Premier League wins in a row. Then 3 days later, a Champions League game in which they should win. At St. James's Park, Newcastle are a different animal. They're a completely different animal. Their home record's the 4th best in the league, so they may even beat Villa. But looking at how congested the fixture list is, they've got to play a lot of football in the next 4 weeks or so, including Villa, PSG, Liverpool, and then City again. But today was all about Aaron Ramsdale and the penalty shootout. He was the hero. Harvey Barnes, he's got 4 goals in his last 2 games. He's got 23 goals now in 98 games in a Newcastle United shirt. Man of the match today, man of the match against Leeds United. Looks really, really good. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to bring up the lineups on the screen, bearing in mind it is a Bournemouth team that made a number of changes as a team that played us. Evan Nilsson was on the bench. There were, of course, is no Semenyo, with Petrovic, Solar, Diakate, Hill, Smith, Cook, Scott. I actually really like Scott. Apparently, he's a Spurs fan as well. If he fancies it, we're crying out for midfielders right now. I'd take him. Brooks scores a really good goal as well, by the way. Krupi doesn't get on the score sheet today, but played decent for 90 minutes or so. Unal went off injured. Aldi. And then it's Ramsdale, Malik Chow, Trippier, Botman, Livramento. I would have thought Miley would have started this game. He has been in decent form recently. Ramsey back in the 11. Tonali, Willock, Avisa, and Barnes. And in terms of the sub-bench, both teams, of course, made a number of changes. Look at their depth they've got, though. Hall, Miley, Jolinton, Bruno G, and Gordon. That's 5 good subs as you're going to get, isn't it, really? Tavernier, obviously, come on, got a goal. Evan Nilsson, Jimenez, Truffier, I think he's actually a decent fullback. Senesi, and I don't know much about Remy, Dottin. And in terms of players that didn't come on, there's a number of injuries, though. I mean, what's that? 3 of their 2 centre-backs injured for them, 3 centre-backs, injured. Ilanga is expected to be back, I think, next game as well, or the game after, is what the reports are saying. Tyler Adams is, of course, a big miss for them. He's a top player. But they made it 1-0. And they made it 1-0 early from BARNES. And he is in red-hot form right now. He really, really is. If he can continue this goal-scoring form, I have no doubts that Newcastle will push on for a European place. Both his goals were really, really good. Almost, it's very difficult for Eddie Howe to pick Gordon in the form. 4 goals, 2 games recently with BARNES. Gordon hasn't really been that good in open play. From the spot, however, he has been very, very good. He scored a couple of penalties in the Champions League, scored today, which is a big pressure penalty to keep Newcastle in the game. But it was very much end-to-end. Bournemouth scored, Scott comes back, then Newcastle United, then Bournemouth scored again for a fantastic goal through Brooks, probably the best goal of the game, cuts in edge of the box, whips it towards the back post, really, really good finish. And then Gordon steps up with a pressure penalty, lot of pressure on that, wins it, takes it. Sorry, Tonali got fouled, he takes it, scored. BARNES then scored in the 118th minute, in which all of St. James's Park, I can't even speak today, St. James's Park thought that he won it. And then Newcastle concede right at the end, and Bournemouth get back into it. But it was very, very, very entertaining game, end to end. I didn't get to watch the penalty shootout because I then put the Spurs game on. But in terms of the match stats, both teams having 20-plus shots. Both teams, Bournemouth had 13 shots on target. Ramsdale really did put in a good performance today. Saved 2 in the penalty shootout as well. Bruno G actually missed his penalty. But 5 big chances, 8 big chances created for Newcastle, 6 big chances created for Bournemouth, but both teams missed 5. In terms of Bournemouth, they need to bring in their Semenyo replacement sooner rather than later. But it's 4 wins on the bounce for them, and they are waiting Manchester City Tuesday night. That is going to be some game. That really, really is going to be a big, big game. The other game is Arsenal versus Chelsea. I think Arsenal play tomorrow, and I think Chelsea are currently playing against Charlton at the moment. I think it actually is. Is it 1-0 to Chelsea at the moment? I'm pretty sure it's 1-0 Chelsea at the moment. Yeah, they're currently 1-0 up at half time. So it's going to be a very, very interesting 3-4 weeks for Newcastle. But I do fancy them in a lot of these games. I fancy them to beat PSV. I fancy them to beat Wolves. I think they'll get something against City. I think they'll get something against Villa as well, because City haven't got an easy run coming their way either. They've got Galatasaray in the Champions League. They've got Liverpool, I believe, next month as well. But Newcastle, after the PSV game, that is 4 really, really tough games in a space of, 9 days or so. 8 days or so. But look, they should be very, very happy. They're through to the next round of the Cup. Big players stepped up for them today. Voltemada, another assist today. How many goal contributions? I think he's on double digits for goal contributions now as well. He's actually done really well since coming in. A lot of pressure as well, because Alexander Isak got that big move to Liverpool. But in terms of Voltemada this season, he's got 9 goals in 27 games in all comps with 2 assists and an assist today. So he's double digits for goal contributions. So look, Eddie Howe, how he manages through these next 3 or 4 weeks, he's going to have to use all of his squad. You'll probably see Livramento and Miley rotate at fullback. You'll probably see Botman, Chow, Dan Burn will be back soon. Shea will be back soon as well. You'll probably see a lot of those centre-backs rotate. The midfield kind of picks itself every game, but you'll see Ramsey come in certain games. You might see Voltemada and Wisa rotate. But for them, it's all about getting through to the next round. Doesn't matter if you do it on penalties. Doesn't matter if you score an own goal or that you get through for an own goal. Doesn't matter if it's from a corner or whatever. We went out today to Aston Villa, in which was a game with 2 halves. Villa were really good first half. We were very, very poor first half. And then second half, we come out and it looked like 2 completely different teams. But for me, Newcastle, the only thing that matters is getting through to the next round. That's exactly what they did. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching. I am out.